Okay, I want to talk about this novel, currently on the Booker long list and likely to be on the Booker shortlist. A Little Life by Hannah Yangakara. She is a New York-based American novelist. This isn't going to be a bad review, but I think it's going to be quite a frustrated review, or it is a frustrated review. There is much to admire about this, uh, but there is much to find deeply questionable. But I'll talk about that in a second. Initially, when I was about 50 pages in, I thought, here we go again. This is a kind of typical US novel at the moment, kind of the Franzen Eugenides subgenre, where there are a lot of friends. They're terribly clever. It's set on the East Coast, and we're going to follow their lives, and it's going to be full of kind of incident and debate and political positions and philosophical issues and emotional issues, and it's going to be written with a sort of elegance, a sort of easy elegance, a naturalness, a almost a kind of recognizable style from I don't know, the Ira's Writers Workshop or something, a kind of very good creative writing school. There is something similar about that. But I started to worry about 50 pages in because I sort of there are four friends: Jude, Malcolm, Willem, and JB, and I started to feel that this friendship had a kind of a really important false note in it. I couldn't work out why, and I started to think it doesn't feel like a male friendship. And it was only then I realised um, that in fact Hannah Yagakara is a woman. It just hadn't occurred to me terribly because of the Franzen Eugenides thing that she was. Um, and I think this is where the problem starts. Obviously, not because she's a woman or a woman writer, is that she has chosen to write about four males. There are pretty much no females in the book. There's Harold's wife, but she's a secondary character, and so it's even extended friendships are male. But it seems to me these friendships are female friendships. They are caring, nurturing, supportive, and all of them are. There isn't one, apart from maybe one for about 100 pages of the novel, but actually it is, and men don't operate like that. Men are combative, they are sarcastic, they are jokey, they are many things. What they don't do, which is what drives me mad about this book, is smile in a supportive way every time anyone says anything. Um, So there is a central problem here, I think, which is that there is a difference, and I don't feel this is controversial, between how men operate in the company of men and how women operate in the company of women. And she's transposed a way of being amongst women to a way of being amongst men, and it doesn't work. Now, if that central relational dynamic doesn't work, what hope is there for the book? Well, there is this. It is often fantastically well written. There is often great insight. There is also, not quite so often, self indulgence. But the key issue is, and I'm going to avoid anything that might give anything away, but the key issue is one of the characters is very damaged. And this is another wrong note, is with a damaged character, you can't enjoy their pain. And to a certain degree, I think the writer and a number of the readers who really love this book are doing so. It's sentimental about how terrible the damage is. It's self-indulgent. It is, as someone said in a blog post, it becomes to seem like a misery memoir, where the actual point of the book is how miserable can it get? How disturbed and damaged can one person be? And I think great novelists, and I think, if I think about great American novelists, and especially Philip Roth here, is a deeply unsentimental writer, which means however much someone is damaged, he will also then find their faults and therefore dimensionalize them. And she can't do this. She can't do this because she set up this idea of support and care and nurturing, but it flips into self-indulgence and sentimentality. There is a better novel in this novel. However, it has done hugely well in the States, and people think it's going to do very well here, and maybe get on the shortlist of the Booker. So people are enjoying it, and that's fine. And I think so. The idea to say it could be a different book would be to say that some people are enjoying it for wrong reasons. I don't think that's the case. I think I think its length and its kind of generosity, and it means that it's a very it's something you can be absorbed by, and I found it very compulsive. So that's an important thing to know. It was also, interestingly, what's called a kind of sleeper, which is that no one really expected it to do very well, and it was discovered, and then I think it went to the New York Times bestseller list. So it has captured the imagination, and I think that's right. I think that there is something quite extraordinary about it, but I feel some wrong decisions were taken. But I'd be interested to know who's reading it. If it's mainly women, then I think that feels right. I think that it is a novel about caring and support, and not a novel about looking for weakness. And that may be a gender thing. There is no jokes at anyone's expense. There's nothing kind of, it doesn't, it is a very gentle book, with some fantastic prose. And so I think one has to read it, one has to think about what wants out of a novel. And if it is something very human, but without necessarily the nuances, not the lacking psychological insight, but the nuances of character, the difficult, angled, slightly abrasive characters we are, this doesn't work. Although the damaged character is hugely abrasive, but it's also indulgent again. Anyway, I could go on. I think it's a difficult book. It's 650 pages. I think it probably just about pays perseverance, but I don't think it should make the book a shortlist.